Matter and Energy in Ecosystems, Unit Lesson 1.4, How Energy Storage Molecules Are Made. Activity 2, Revisiting Sunlight and Life. You'll use the sim and part of the Sunlight and Life article set to help you figure out where energy storage molecules come from. Since we just learned that carbon is an important part of energy storage molecules, you'll pay close attention to where the carbon comes from. Scientists often use diagrams to help clarify concepts and explain ideas using features like captions, arrows, titles, labels, and keys. This particular diagram has no caption. It comes from the sim's close-up view of producer cells. You will have a chance to take a closer look at this diagram, see if you can tell what's going on, and then write your own captions. You'll return to this diagram later in the lesson and have the opportunity to revise your captions. Students, write your captions. What do you think is happening in the images? Next, you'll take a closer look at part of the introduction from the Sunlight and Life article to find more about where energy storage molecules in an ecosystem come from. First, let's review some of the annotations you made during your first read in the previous lesson. You will only reread the third and fourth paragraphs from the introduction. I'll model how to make connections between the diagram and the text. Photosynthesis. Diagrams are important tools for understanding the text. To get the most information, you must examine all aspects of the diagrams thoroughly and do some careful thinking about the text. Title or keywords. Looking at the title, I see this diagram is about photosynthesis, so I'm going to look for places in the text that mention photosynthesis. Identifying keywords that appear both in the diagram and in the text can be a good place to start when you want to make connections, to link two or more things, either things you learned before or your ideas. Special features. I see there are many different types of molecules in this diagram, but only the carbon atom is in a box by itself with some extra text. This makes me think that carbon plays a special role in photosynthesis. When I read through the text, I'm going to look for connections about carbon. Since we're focusing on the investigation question about where energy storage molecules come from, I'm going to look for information that will help me answer this question. I don't see much about energy storage molecules in the diagram, but maybe the text can help me understand this diagram better. I'll refer back to the diagram continually as I read the text. I can ask myself questions as I look for connections between the diagram and the text. Caption. What does the caption tell us about this diagram? How does that connect to something in the text? Process or action shown. What is going on in the diagram? How does that connect to something in the text? Puzzling parts. What is something you don't understand in the diagram? Can you find something about that in the text? Does the text help you understand the diagram better? Students, reread the third and fourth paragraphs of the introduction. Discuss some of the evidence you found that might help you answer the investigation question. In an ecosystem, during the process of photosynthesis, energy is transferred from the sun to producers, and carbon is moved from abiotic to biotic matter. The transfer of energy that takes place during photosynthesis moves carbon through the biotic and abiotic matter in an ecosystem. End of activity.